Now I'll call on Prime Minister representative of this region. He sits on the board of GADForum, many other boards. This man is a wealth of information. I like him a lot because he bridges the gap between central government, local government, regional government, and he knows. Sometimes we look at a department and say, hey, what's happening? Why are these people doing what they should be doing? He knows why, because he's on the board, and all this matters are always discussed at the board of directors meeting. And he lived overseas for a very long time, and now he's able to implement outside of the box to our local landscape. And I want you to help me in welcoming Mr. Gobin, Harbhajan. Thank you, sir.
Mahendra Prasad, Director, sorry, the name always got me in a twisted. Dr. Raymond and his students and other invitees. A few weeks ago, I should say exactly 2 weeks ago, I met with Raymond at my office, and he asked a few questions, what's happening in the agriculture sector and some of the avenues that these 7 sugar workers has been taken in the agriculture sector and what they've been doing. And as you all will know, that East Berbice is predominantly agriculture. Is all these students here are from agriculture students?
Yes.
All right, I'll touch on a few other stuff. But back to Raymond, when we reached, I couldn't understand what really he wanted to do and how he wanted to do it. So normally I exercise at the beach, so I booked an appointment with him to reach me while exercising, and he take me an hour and a half, I think we end up at night, to understand exactly what he wanted to do. Well, why I did that, because being in government for 5 years, I meet plenty like him along the line, and they all came up with some rosy ideas, and for me to fall into that, I must understand what I'm promoting. And one of his ideas was the coconut, and he looked at all avenues, and I introduced him to Rajendra Prasad, that's Nan Prasad, and we spent another couple of hours discussing that, and he get the blessing from there. It's a good idea, and that's where, I invite him to some other business meeting with the ministers and so on, and that went pretty well. So on that I will say that thank you, because my thing in politics is Berbice and the people, and when I have people like you around, it makes my job easier, and that's my whole objective. Yes, I sit in a few board of directors and some other areas, and it's Berbice my focus on. Yes, in general at the board I contribute there, but if you look at East Berbice, we have a lot of stuff, and for the students, it's very important you all notice that in the agriculture sector, for this last crop alone in rice, it did really well. And every inch of land that rice is supposed to be planted in East Berbice has been occupied. And one of the things we would have saw in 2016, I think 2016, I had a meeting with Mohin and some other stakeholders, that the rent for rice farmers is about 15 to 20,000 acres, and we came up with a proposal, which I had the team, and I think 2016 October, we make a proposal, and the first time for 40 years that was the proposal on the table for an all-weather road, which will benefit what Raymond is saying, and benefit some of you who want to go into farming. So in 2016, we took that proposal to the minister. That was 2016 October. You can Google it, you can make note of it. It's 58/59 all-weather road, which will see 170,000 acres land, new land, open. That road was a mud dam in the 70s. Who remember the long dam, right? So with this idea that Raymond has with coconut, with 1 million, I believe Berbice can facilitate all that if we have that road. And in 2018, we also took the minister and the junior minister of finance, with Moin and I took them all the way back and showed them what is exactly we want. So we were looking for stuff, people like Raymond to come on board so we can put all these in one package. But nevertheless, it's still in the pipeline for the government. They're looking at it, they did some little feasibility study, and I think it would happen because, as you know, the island gas is coming, so infrastructure will be massive in this region. So that road will be, and it's important for young people who want to go into cash crops, citrus, and coconut. Those are the type of land we as a government or any politician has to look to open up. If you open up land with road and good water and drainage, you will have people who will occupy those land. So Raymond's idea with this a million coconut tree in 10 years to be planted, that's very good. And it's not about the coconut, it's the product that comes from the coconut. I think in India, in India, I think Rajan was there, and Prasad, and he went to some of the factory that manufacture the hooks into different things, and he said there's a big market in Canada. And these are some of these things, basic stuff, but there are more to this. When I was in Chile, every product that y'all female use, coconut is in it, is more expensive. It's a price to it. And even in Mexico, it's very expensive. So right in Guyana here, we are picking the coconut, give it to the truck, and they take it to Brazil. I think that's where it's going now, and we're not making full use of it. The director touched on cash crop and what happened at Port Morant Market. Let's use that for one. You see, we have a lot of cash crop farmers, but everybody focusing on government must look market. It is a free market. You need to look out there what you can do and how you can bridge the gap. If you have pumpkin is like dry coconut. You pack it, they stay there for months. You just got to make powders. In Chile again, I see pumpkin powder. They put them in, all those are business. So for one to throw away 2 pale of tomato because it doesn't sell, they depend on this government must look the market. I'm not a big fan of that. Yes, government will have office, NARI will tell you how to do it. But there are things that they can do. It's like the rice, the millers. The millers export rice. I think presently they export to 36 countries. And rice revenue for 2019 is 22.7 million US to bring revenue to this country. So that's a lot, and it's on a private end. GRD, we just make sure you follow the principle and how to go. But there are things out there, but we just lay back and and wait. If you're traveling Cooper Airline, you're gonna get guava jam, right? I mean, we travel guava here, and a Guyanese boy in Guatemala I met, he's doing guava jam there, right? And those are things can make right here. We have more airline commercial, coming on. So all those are business, So Raymond, I support and I welcome your vision and your initiative in the agriculture sector. I also sit at the agriculture committee of the region, and if there's anything that my office can do, our doors are open. You can come there anytime, and I can tell you the channel and what we can do at the government side. I believe that private people like you who are into this, and if you ever go public one day, I'll be one of those shareholders. I want to thank you for inviting me, and thank you for listening as students. If you have any question in pertaining to the all-weather road that we propose, I have that thing what I signed there in 2016. I can explain that and what benefit it will bring. But you can also Google it. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.